Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. Now, I've put my email address out there for a lot of you guys, and if you have questions about a note, always feel free to send me, pictures and questions about stuff. I have no problem helping people out. I end up getting anywhere from 3 to 5 emails every single day from people asking questions. And that's fine. I've got no problem with that at all. I do have a slight problem with when people send me pictures of 20 different notes, none of which are worth anything, and then they'll send me 20 more notes and say, well, how about these? That kind of makes me feel two things. First of all, it feels like you're not actually watching or learning anything I'm talking about. But secondly, it makes me feel like you guys are going through all these looking for stuff that you can resell. I'm not a reseller. I'm a collector. I show you guys things that I collect. I show you guys things that I would go out and buy. I show you things that I hunt for out of here to keep in my collection. I'm a collector. I am not a dealer. Yes, once a month I'll run my auction where I'll sell 5 items, but I'll specifically go on eBay looking for those items at a good price to pass on to you guys. But yeah, if you want to send me a picture of 10 notes and ask me how much you should sell these notes for, you're kind of missing the boat. Sadly, it seems that there's a lot of people watching TikTok videos and getting the idea that there's a lot of garbage out there that's worth a lot of money, and it's not. I've got a whole series called That's Not an Error about eBay fraud, and that's a great starting point. So if you've got a bunch of notes and you're not sure if they're worth any money, start off by watching those videos. Another thing is, if you have a note where you have to pull out a magnifying glass right away, if you need a magnifying glass, probably not an error. There are tons of minute mistakes on every single note out there, and you're looking for the obvious ones. The obvious mistakes are the ones that are actually worth a lot of money, because the tiny mistakes are on every bill, and if it's not rare, it's not worth anything. All right, guys, let's slide these out of the way and take a look at what I found this week. First note, somebody wrote Evil Trump on it, which was interesting that they put it right next to Steve Mnuchin's name. Let's see. This one here is probably a note that somebody's going to say is worth a ton of money because it's missing serial numbers. But if you look real close, that's just damaged. The serial number's there. You can see the paper's all scratched up and stuff. So yeah, that's not worth anything there. Another note that other people are going to say are worth a ton of money because it's got ink here. Yeah, it's ink, but it's not from the printing of the bill. If you look real close, it's actually really dark blue. Almost looks purplish, so it's definitely not ink from the printing process, so it's definitely not worth anything. Let's see, I found some trinaries. Now, I tell you guys all the time, I collect trinaries and quads, trying to find pairs, not necessarily because trinaries and quads are worth anything, but it limits the number of notes that I save. Rather than saving every note I have trying to match pairs, I only save trinaries and quads, hoping that I can pair some of them. So you can see this one has 3s, 8s, and 9s. 1s, 2s, and 4s on this one. 2s, 3s, and 4s. And another reason why I show these is to give you an idea of how many of these I find per 1,000 that I search. 0s, 3s, and 8s. 1s, 2s, and 6s. And somebody wrote on this, that's not a printing error. 4s, 5s, and 6s, 1s, 5s, and 8s, 0s, 5s, and 6s. And then I've got quads. Quad 1s right here, quad 2s. And here's another example. You can see that there's print lines here, wet ink transfer lines. I don't even point that out on notes because it's so common. There are people that will scream up and down that that's an error. It's not. It's not an error. It's a wet ink transfer. It has to do with sloppy printing. So no, there is no extra value there. I'm only pointing it out in this instance because I didn't save this note because of that. I don't care that that's there. That's a non-issue. But I see it here on this particular one, so I'll make mention of it. Quad 4s, quad 5s, quad 9s. Look at how dark this one is. You can even see it on his face. Like I said, that's nothing. That means absolutely nothing. So when you see these people asking $40, $50 for these, no, it's garbage. It's worth $1. Some stars. 2017A star note. Another 2017A, checking to make sure that the stars are not filled in, because that would be worth money. 2017, another 2017, another one as well, still no filled stars. 2013 star note. 2013B, one of the potential duplicated notes. 2013, once again, still no filled in stars. 2013. And look at this one. This one is beat to hell. It's got tape on it all over the place. Why did I pull it? Well, it's a star note, and it's from 1969. Too bad it's in such rough shape, because that would have been a really neat find. Some of my older notes, 2003A, 2003A as well. Once again, you're talking notes that have technically been out there for 20 years, so that's why I pulled those. 2003, another 2003, 1999, another 99, 1995, checking to see if it's a web note. No, it is not. Another 95, 1977, and the oldest note I found this week, this is a 1963. Now, it's in pretty rough shape, and I don't normally put 1963s in sleeves like this, but I thought this one was interesting because, well, look at the back. It almost has a brownish look to it. Just for comparison, here's a regular note, and you put them side by side. You can see how faded this particular note is. Now, this is not an error, so I'm not going to call it an error. Odds are is that this is either sun damage or this is some type of chemical damage. Looking at the front, can't really tell that anything is wrong with the note here, but on the back, there's definitely something. So this note has a hard fold here, hard fold here. This note could have been folded in half and then left in somebody's pocket when it got washed or dry cleaned. That would kind of protect this side of the note from seeing any of the damage and still cause the back of this note to have that almost tan appearance compared to what a regular note looks like. So, no, this is not special. This is not an error. There's nothing like that. I just find it interesting. And anytime you find something interesting, well, what better reason to add to your collection? So that's what I found this week. What did I pull out? Well, I managed to knock out another note on my wish list. I got a Type 45. This is an 1862 $1 Confederate States of America note, and you can see this one has the green overprint. This was one of the tougher ones to find. It's got Lucy Pickens over on this side, and yeah, these are fairly tough. My friend Brian sent me a book in the mail. Let me see if I can grab this over here. It's called Collecting Confederate Paper Money, Field Edition from 2014. So the prices aren't quite up to date, but all the info in this book is amazing. And here's the picture of this one, Type 45, $1, dated June 2nd, 1862. You can see the overprint. This book has got all kinds of information because the note that's underneath it is actually a counterfeit. So it allows you to compare what a real one versus a counterfeit one looks like. The cool thing is right here, it tells you only 412,500 of these were issued. So, yeah, that is not a lot of notes to be talking about. They do go through prices, but like I said, the prices here are a little outdated. So when we talk about the prices on the Type 45, once again, the thing that makes it the Type 45 is the green overprint like this. The Type 44s didn't have them, and there were actually more of those printed. That's why this is a newer note, but yet it's worth a lot more. So we will look at the big book to see what it has to say about the prices. And here it is right here. Type 44 and the Type 45. One with and one without the overprint. You can see the difference in prices. The 44 starts at $45. The 45 starts at $75. Then you're looking at 80, 125, 175, and 250 for the different grades on the 44. But when you look at the CS45, the one that I have, 75, 225, 550, 1250, and 3000. That's the difference in rarity in the notes. So, since I had the Type 44 that didn't have the green overprint, I definitely wanted to make sure I got one with the green overprint. Taking a look at the back of this one, nothing on the back there, but when you look at the front, it does have a slight little tear here, and if I remember, there is a hole right here next to Lucy. Still, tough note to get, cool note to get, one of the rarer prints, and yeah, they are hand signed, they are hand numbered. Very interesting add to my collection. If you learned anything new this week, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. Love reading all your comments. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.